We're going to be doing spiritual business chats today. So if you're wanting to start a spiritual business, or if you already have one, we're going to be talking about some different dynamics. We're talking about attracting soul aligned clients, niche versus theme. And we're going to talk about accountability and staying focused and motivated in your business. Okay. And we can all take, if you can, if not, that's okay too. We're going to take a big grounding breath in through our nose and breathe out through our mouth. And we're going to take a big grounding breath in through our nose and a clearing breath out through our mouth. Okay. Oh, thank you all for sharing the live. I appreciate that, and for the follow. Is anybody feeling the wacky timeline energy right now? Because it's super intense. I've been making some videos about it. Sorry, I gotta fix my hair. I've been making some videos about it where it's making a lot of people like face their shadows. And that's causing a lot of like chaos energy with people, and not just like people on a spiritual journey, but a lot of people that are on the spiritual awakening journey. It's making them like look at stuff that's not working in their life, and so it's causing that chaos. Because y'all know, like, when you first start on your spiritual awakening journey, it was a lot. Okay, I gotta loosen this up. It was a lot because it's like, what the heck is going on, right? Like, why is all this trauma stuff coming up, and why are all these perspectives changing? You know, the truths that I thought were truths were maybe not truths, right? And so it's causing a lot of chaotic energy in the collective from what I've seen and from talking to clients and stuff. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Britt. I feel extremely anxious suddenly for no reason. Yeah, that's where we really need to ask ourselves, is this my energy that I'm feeling, or is this collective energy? Because as light workers, empaths, neurodivergents, like highly sensitive people, we are not only connected to like other people, right? Like picking up from them, but you're also connected into the collective grid. And so if there's like major ascension things going on with people that are not quote unquote like awake yet, you're going to feel the effects of that, right? We're going to feel the chaotic energy of the things like breaking down internally within people, like their paradigms and those like beliefs that they have, you know what I mean? That's why a lot of us are like on the forefront and have already gone through it, because we're about to have this like massive awakening again, like this surge that's about to happen. And so us, okay, we are already awake, and we're like have been getting ready to help those people. Okay, so the reason that you're feeling that is because I gotta loosen this. The reason that you're feeling that is because you're hearing the call of like, oh, now it's my time to help other people. Like, you're not a student anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just ready to be the teacher now. Okay, so those are some of the things that we're talking about. Oh, I don't have enough water in here. Y'all give me like 2 seconds, and then I'll be right back. I gotta fill my water up. Okay, thank you for holding. Oh, that makes so much sense. I don't want to feel those effects anymore. How do I set some boundaries? One with the boundaries is like, okay, it's not my personal responsibility to transmute collective energy. Because sometimes we do that because, you know, we know what it's like and all that stuff. Like just saying like, hey, I'm going through my own stuff. You know what I mean? Because when you start to really hold strong boundaries with people, right? Not taking on their feelings and emotions, that's great, love that. But then we also need to be holding boundaries with the cosmic grid and saying like, that's not my personal responsibility. Okay, we're all light workers and we feel this like really intense pull to help, you know, as many people as we possibly can. Sometimes you need to help yourself. Like sometimes you working on your internal scape is all you need to do. And I'm not saying we don't need to help other people and be a community member, because yes, love that. But you need to focus on you, because then that shifts everything around you. Like, the interactions you have with people are different. You're not reacting anymore, we're responding, which shifts things in other people, and they're like, oh, okay, well, since they're doing life differently, maybe I need to take a page out of their book. Right? But sometimes we feel like this very heavy weight that nobody's putting on you except yourself, because a lot of us have been healers for a very long time, and we feel like this cosmic pressure of like, I gotta help everybody. Okay? You can't help everybody. Sometimes you just gotta focus on self. Now, some people want to have a spiritual business. Like, I'm a spiritual coach. I love helping people, but I can't help everybody. Good morning, Lindsay. Hey, I just can't be helping everybody, because I need to focus on self and make sure my cup is filled and I'm taken care of. And then whatever I have spilling over, I can help people in my business, right? But I can't be transmuting cosmic energy all day, collective energy all day. That's exhausting. So how you set boundaries with that, right, is we really need to take a look at where that guilt is coming from. Why do I feel like I need to transmute cosmic collective energy? Right? A lot of us were sent here to do that, or like signed up to do that on our soul contract. Okay, but the universe is not asking you to do anything that's putting yourself in a detriment. Like, I have been through that phase in my life where I was like, if I don't help, blah, 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 right? Mother God is gonna be all right. Okay? And certain people have signed up to either be on this journey or not, and there's nothing you can really do, to be honest, to shift the collective and people. What you need to do is shift self, because people have to come to their own terms of understanding. Is anybody like on the beginning stages of your spiritual awakening journey, like you were trying to like convince people and it's just like going like this, right? Like they're not really hearing what you're saying because they're not looking through the same lenses as you. Like a lot of us, this necklace is choking me out. This necklace, not this necklace. Okay, I'm just gonna go. Y'all, I got some sensory things sometimes, so it's just coming off. We try and convince other people, like, hey, you should be on this path because it's really beneficial. But the thing is that you have healed all this trauma, right? And so your perceptual lenses are completely different than theirs. Like, the reality that you're in and the reality that you're seeing around yourself, not even, they're not at that level, right? But what you can do is be an example and a leader in your own life. And then they start to say like, oh, what are they doing? Maybe I should listen to what they're saying, right? But you don't have to transmute people's pain for them or the collective pain, because like people are on their own paths and their own journeys. Like, has anybody had a conversation with somebody before and they're really listening to what you're saying? Like, they're really absorbing that. That's an equal energy exchange, and you feel good walking away from that. But then we have conversations over here where they're not listening to you and they're trying to pull energy from you. They're trying to get you to band-aid a situation. That's why they keep talking to you about the same thing over and over and over and over again, because you're slapping a band-aid on it for them. They have to figure out things on their own journey, right? We need to conserve our energy and time for people that are solution-based oriented. When I'm having conversations with people, I always, in the back of my mind, am asking, is this person being solution-based oriented? Because if not, then I'm not going to continue that conversation with you, because it's not going to benefit either of us. It's doing both of us a disservice if not. Now, holding space for somebody, that can be extremely healing. Like, you don't always have to like put your advisement and 2 cents in with people. Like, just listening is helpful, but some people are just trying to trauma dump on you without actually trying to do anything about it. If that's the case, we need to stop interacting in that conversation, because all it's doing is like draining your energy, right? I'm gonna check these comments up here. We're gonna be talking about spiritual business stuff, and this is kind of like in line with that as well, because like I can't have conversations like that where it drains my energy, because then I don't have enough energy to put into my clients, right? Because then I'm energetically exhausted. And so if you're a spiritual business owner, you want to start one, you have to become so on top of where you're spending your time and energy, because you're doing so much energy healing type of work that you can swing real easily in being exhausted and tired if you're utilizing your energy on the wrong conversations and people, right? Oh, thank you for the gifts here. I appreciate that. Okay, so we'll start with our spiritual business chat now. So if you're watching this on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification if you want more spiritual business workshops. And I'm going to leave that first part in because I feel like that was really beneficial. There's so much timeline energy that's going on right now, timeline shifting. So maybe that helps somebody. So good morning. If you are listening to this and you're on YouTube, I'm doing a TikTok live, and that's whom I am speaking to in the comments here. So if you are wanting to start a spiritual business, I want you to put a 1 in the comments if you want to start one. If you already have one, I want you to put a number 2 in the comments. Okay, so that way I can see what type of mix that we have here. So intentions are, okay, we got some 1s, 2, awesome. Intentions are so important for signing aligned clients. We need to be coming from, how do I want my client to feel? That's so important. We love that, right? We want to be very mindful of how they grow and transform with us. But just as important is how you feel with your clients, because you are the most important person in your life above clients or anybody. Because if you are not functioning and in alignment and feeling great and awesome, you know what I mean? Like nothing around you is going to function well. And so I think that's a part that's missed out a lot when we're talking about aligning with clients, is how do you want to feel, right? Because if we're always putting other people above self, that's doing a disservice to both of you, right? And so I have a notebook that I bought, and I filled up the last one with all my wonderful magical clients, and so I bought a new one. And what I did, why is my thing doing this? Hold on, I'm gonna pause the live for like 2 seconds because it's like all fuzzy blurry on my end. 1 second. Okay, there we go. Oh, thank y'all for sharing the live, I appreciate it. So I got a notebook, and I said on the very first page, I am going to put all of the things that I want my clients to feel and that I want to feel. This is doing work in the etheric field. There is only so much action that you can take in the 3D realm, and I'm not saying not to take action because that's extremely important, but you also have to do that alignment type of work and putting intentions out so that you can kind of send a beacon call out to those clients, right? Because people can find you on social media, like that's one way, but people can also find you through the etheric field and be pulled into you if you're in alignment on the same wavelength as them. And I'm going to give an example of how this works. So sometimes we get tripped up about making content and like, oh, who wants to hear what I have to say? I promise you that there are people out there that need to hear what you have to say in exactly the way that you have to say it. This is what happens. Let me know in the comments if you ever feel a pull to make a video. Like it comes up in your throat chakra or it's in your mind and you're like, I need to say this. I have to say this. Somebody needs to hear this. And it's like your soul is like pulling, okay? okay, and saying like, please do this, right? That is because somebody in the world asked the universe for you. Somebody out there in the ethers said, universe, I really need to figure this out. I need to hear in a different perspective. I need to heal. You heard them calling you. And it's up to you whether you pick up the phone or not. The universal phone. Okay? But that is why you're getting that pull from your higher self and your oversoul, like, hey, you should make a video on this because somebody needs to hear it. And if you don't make it, then that person doesn't get it from you. But they're there is the main point that I'm trying to make, right? Like all the time I'll make videos about certain things and I just do it because I want to do it and because it can help somebody. But then there's these other videos that like I know somebody needed to hear that message today, and then I always get a comment that says, oh my God, you don't understand how much I needed to hear this, and you said it in a way that really helped my mind shift in a perspective that made me really understand this concept, because there's things that you know that other people don't know, or maybe you've worked it out where the way that you do it is so much different than like the norm, right? Like you're always going to be several steps ahead of people all the way through your journey. There will always be people that you can help, right? But we get tripped up and saying like, oh, there's nobody out there that needs a, yeah, they do. That's why you feel that call in your soul to make certain messages. So I'm going to read y'all my list because I think it's really important. Like this is going to be like a portal for you. Okay, it's gonna be an activating portal. Listen, all you have to do is listen while I'm reading these, because it's gonna help you figure out, hello, hey, oh, hey, Ray, I'm excited for our call later. All you have to do is listen, because it's going to open up your perceptual awareness, and it's gonna help you align with how you wanna feel and how you want your clients to feel. And if you want to take some of these, take them. Sharing is caring. Okay, this is going to be up on YouTube for the people that are in here live now, and you can go through this and then add these things to your list or expand on them or make it your own. But this is going to be so beneficial for you. Like as soon as I wrote all these down, I was like, okay, I know exactly what to do moving forward and what to make content on. Okay, so here we go. Oh, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. How I want my clients to feel and how I want to feel working with them. They believe in themselves and their capabilities. They know I can lead them effectively and from the heart. They are ready and willing to put in the work. They feel seen, heard, and validated. Their inner children feel safe and protected if you do inner child healing work. Able to express themselves authentically. We have so much fun and laughter together. I think that's a piece that's left out sometimes as we get like so serious in business. We want working with our clients to be easy peasy lemon squeezy. We want to have fun. We want it to be a magical experience and lighthearted. Like even if we're talking about like trauma stuff, like it doesn't have to be, you know, all in the saddies the whole time. Right? We want it to be light and vibrant. Okay. Tapped into their multi-dimensionality. That's always a goal of mine. I've always known I was a bit psychic, recently stepping into mediumship, whole new world. Oh, I love that. I like your name too, Crystal Visions. They want to see results. Oh, they see the results they wanted and more. They tell all their friends about us working together. We create expansive magic. They shine their light brighter, paving the way for others. Feeling connected to Source, their guides, and Mother Gaia. Timeline shift into their highest timeline. They learn the tools to take them to the next level in their life. They thrive and prosper. Receive their investment back tenfold. I always set the intention that if somebody works with me and they, you know, invest in me and they invest in themselves, that they get that investment back tenfold. Like that's a really important piece, that you both prosper and thrive monetarily as well, right? Experience more peace, joy, love, happiness, and bliss. See the world through new perspectives, because honestly, that's what we're trying to do at the end of the day when we're doing trauma healing. We're trying to delayer those perspective lenses that have been put over you, because babies aren't born with that stuff. That is things that you have learned and picked up along your journey. Release heavy trauma energy that no longer serves them. Learn to stand strong in their energy field. Understand why they decided to incarnate during this time. So if you do timeline shifting work, or you help people get in their Akashic records or soul contract, that would be a great one. Open up to more of their spiritual gifts. Sorry about that motorcycle back there. Hello, hello. Realign their chakra system, light body, and auric field. Connect to past lives, higher selves in different incarnations, and their oversoul. Able to access their own Akashic records and soul contracts. So like our ultimate goal is, we want to sign clients and help them, but we want them to be able to get to a place where they can do these things for self, right? Because there will always be more people out there that need our help, right? Or maybe you get to a new stage and they get to a new stage and you help them at that new stage. But we want to give them tools so that they can do these things on their own. Okay. Amplify discernment and intuition. Upgrade their DNA cells for perfect health. Enhance communication skills with self and others. Learn to be in the flow and surrender. Experience more synchronicities. Take inspired action. Amplify focus, willpower, and determination. And lastly, I have put on their galactic crown. So that's you really tapping into your multidimensionality. So, who felt very inspired by that? Either like you wanting to help your clients achieve these things, and maybe not all of them, maybe that's not your prerogative, right? That's what I'm saying. You can take these if you like, but make it your own, add yours, right? Who wants our clients to feel this way? Do you want to feel this way? It's also a good check-in with yourself. Like, how am I doing in these areas? Because you got to be checking boxes in order to lead somebody to check off boxes within themselves. Okay. I love how you word things. Oh, thank you, Ray. I help my clients with all this stuff, but it's because I'm very clear on what I want to help them with. Does that make sense? Like, some of us are like, I want to help people. That's great. We love that. But you can't help everybody with everything. And I know this sounds like a lot, and we're going to get into like niching versus theme. This is all kind of in the same wheelhouse, right? Like helping you connect to your higher self, helping you connect to your multidimensional magic, helping you do trauma healing. Be focused and goal oriented. Like, that's all housed within here, right? And so when you put it on paper, then we get clear of, oh, okay, well, this is what I want to help people with. Because like I said, we can't be an expert in everything, and we can't help everybody with everything. That's when we can kind of get lost in the sauce with our messaging, when we're not very clear on those things. Okay, get some incense here. Was that helpful for anybody to hear those? Or give you some like new perceptions or new ideas? Okay, so since we're talking about these things, we're going to talk about niching and having a theme. So if you are neurodivergent, neurospicy, put a 1 for me in the chat. If you're on the autism spectrum, or you have ADHD, or maybe you have PTSD, neurodiversity, there's a lot of different levels. Oh, he put 1. Okay, that's usually who I draw into our neurodiverse people, because that's me as well, right? And we align with people that are on similar journeys. Okay, a lot of 1s in the chat. Okay. So niching versus theme. When you are neurodivergent, you have the tendency to study a lot of different topics, and you are informed on a lot of different things, and your brain works differently because everybody in here knows we connect things like a big giant web. Like this has to do with this, and this has to do with this. That's what makes us really good energy healers, because you can see the different ways that things correlate within people and why they have the behavioral patterns that they do. And you probably, if you're watching this now live or in the future, you probably are very good at pattern recognition. We just see life as a web instead of like a linear thing, right? And so it means you're a good frequency reader as well, because guilt, shame, trauma, imposter syndrome, all this stuff that vexes people is a frequency. That's how you're like when I'm talking to somebody, right, like a client, and they tell me the things that they have going on, I can see all the connections in the web, and it usually goes back to childhood. But even without them telling me everything that happened in their life, I can feel those frequencies within myself. I'm like, oh, you're experiencing grief, you're experiencing shame, you're experiencing guilt. That's part pattern recognition, but that's also getting more like into the psychic energy reading realm. It's a blending of those things, right? So, and coming back to what I was talking about before, niching and having a theme. It is very difficult for us to box ourselves into one lens. Like, niching is picking one thing that you help people with. That does not work for us. It doesn't work. Because we see how all of these different things correlate with one another. And so if you pick one, you're really not all the time helping people with like getting to the nitty-gritty root of things, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe you just enjoy talking about a lot of different topics. Maybe you're not doing energy healing, right? And you like talking about crocheting, you like talking about taking care of plants, you like, you know what I mean? That's fine. You will draw in people that are also like that. I don't like watching content, and I don't want to say I don't like watching, but I don't watch content creators that aren't neurodivergent and all over the place, because that's what I like. I like learning about many different things. So like when I go to somebody's page, if they're talking about 10 different things, great, love that. I get bored very easily. I need more, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it. Stimulation. If you will, like I need to hear about different things. And we get so tripped up of like, okay, well, if I don't hone it down a little bit, then I'm not going to find my people. Yes, you will. You'll just resonate with people that are also multi-passionate. There's plenty of them out there, okay? And that's even niching in itself. Like if you are really going down like the neurodivergent train, right? Not everybody's neurodivergent. It's actually a lot smaller population than you think it is. Some of us don't think that, because like me, I really only talk to neurodivergent people now. Like in my past life, didn't really have that many of them around me. Now that's really the only people that I talk to. And then I forget that, oh, that's actually a smaller population. So being a multi-passionalite and leaning into your neurodiversity is in and of itself niching down. Does that make sense? Okay. So instead of having a niche, I decided to switch to a theme. I said, okay, when people land on my page, on my TikTok or my Instagram or my YouTube, they know that they can learn about growing your spiritual business, how to bring more money into your life, multi-dimensional magic like tapping into your Akashic records and soul contract, right? How to optimize life with neurodiversity, ADHD, autism. You see how it's not one thing, but there's a theme. They all correlate with one another. But I'm not just talking about one. I was talking about how to grow your social media. Now, parts of my content is not for everybody all the time. right? Because maybe you're neurodivergent, but you don't want to start a spiritual business, but there's still something in there for you. That's why if you go to my, and this is really important too, if you go to my Instagram and my TikTok, I have covers on all of my videos. Like, this is a pro tip, because if you are neurodivergent and you're talking about a lot of different things, how do people know what is for them and what is for not, and what is not for them? You need to have cover photos saying very clearly what that video is about, because ain't nobody got time to be going through 95 videos of yours trying to figure out what's for them. Because sometimes when I pull people to my page, maybe they're not at the space in their journey to know about the Akashic records. Okay, that's fine. But maybe they want to bring more money into their life, okay? Very clearly stating money manifestation, how to bring more money into your life, right? So we need to at least be labeling things so people can see. Now, we do need to at least, we can't be talking about everything all the time, because you're not an expert in everything. Like, there are things that I do not have time and energy to learn or to teach others. I still have a wheelhouse. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I have to have 6 or 7 topics that I loop through. And that keeps me from getting bored. And then I learn something in each one of the different ones, and then I correlate them back to one another, and I just keep that wheel turning. So we got to have at least a theme, and not just kind of like all over the place. But we don't have to niche down to one thing, because then you're not going to align with your people if you are doing that. Because the people that you want to align with, if you're neurodiverse or multi-passionate light, is people that want to hear about a lot of different things, right? That's multidimensionality too. Like, if you really want to tap into your multidimensional magic, then we need to be making content that's healing people on different layers, right? Like, me talking about connecting to your Akashic records and soul contract is just as important as you learning how to be more prosperous and abundant, and just as important as you learning how to thrive in life with neurodiversity. Because you gotta stay balanced in your life. Okay? Each one is equally as important. Okay. Did that help anybody with that perspective lens of let's do a theme instead of a niche? This is so helpful. Thank you. Oh, yay. Okay, good. Because when I first started my coaching practice, all I heard from other coaches was you need to niche down. And then I wondered why my business wasn't working, and why I started to build resentment within my business, because that's not me as a person. I cannot do that. So I needed a permission slip. And the permission slip I got was, I was on TikTok one day, and this girl was talking about, why don't you just have a theme instead of a niche? And I was like, what? You can do that? And people will still want to sign with you? And then I started doing that, and that is when my business really took off. Yes, came in at the right time. Perfect. Okay, so accountability, staying focused and motivated. If you are either wanting to start your business or you're in a spiritual business, excuse me, I'm releasing some energy here. You have to be extremely focused and goal-oriented and motivated, because ain't nobody telling you what to do. Like, this is my full time, right? Nobody tells me to get up and do anything. I am my own boss. Okay, if you will. And so, like, nobody's making me make social media posts. Nobody's making me write emails, reaching out to clients, nothing. I have to do that. And so a lot of people think that when you start a business, like, you get a lot of, like, you can just do whatever you want. Yes. But then that also means that you have to be the person that make you do that stuff. Right? And it's very easy to put that stuff off and just say, oh, I'll do it later. The problem with that is that it starts snowballing out of control, and then you have a gajillion things that you need to do, and then you get overwhelmed and burnt out and exhausted. You have to be very diligent, and you have to instill and build those things within yourself. And most people that want to start their own business, like, you have that in your realm of capabilities, but it's staying on top of it. Okay. Yes, guilty. Yeah. And I'm not saying I don't ever put things off, but I have had to learn to be more forward thinking and step into that higher self version of myself and talk to myself from that higher level and say, okay, well, are we going to scroll on TikTok and scroll for 3 hours, or are we going to do what we need to do? And it's not always business stuff. Like, are you taking care of your physical body? Are you journaling like you need to be doing? Are you eating healthy? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of different dynamics because you are your business. That's something that I learned along the way, is your business is not something that is outside of you. If you're a spiritual business owner or energy healer, you are your business. Everything revolves around you. Okay, so when I talk about, like, we need to be taking care of our physical vessel and our mental and doing our own shadow work, because it's projecting outside of you as your business. Okay, people can feel where you at in your vibration and frequency in your content and how you're showing up, and if you're doing what you're preaching to other people. Okay. I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. I like that. Okay. So something that I would have done earlier on my journey, hey Kate, something I would have done earlier is join communities, because I had a deep core wound of hyper independence because of abandonment issues, and I thought that I had to do everything by myself. When you are running a business, there are like a million different things that you need to do in order to keep it running and moving. And if you have a problem that's vexing you and you're like, I don't know how to do this, well, you either have to spend a lot of time and energy figuring it out, okay, which takes a lot of time, or you can ask somebody. But you have to get over not feeling, like you can ask for support, because that was me in the beginning. And what I did, and it is very exhausting when you're trying to figure everything out by yourself. Like, that's how we get frustrated and overwhelmed, because there is so much that you need to do, whether it's energetically or like physically in your like structure of your business, right? Or marketing or social media, or building your website, all that stuff. If you're trying to work out a problem, it's hard for you to work out the problem because you're living in your own perspective. Like, sometimes we just can't see what the broken chain is in the or the broken link in the chain is. Like, there might be something a little bit off, but you can't see it because you're so enveloped in your own situation. And so what I started doing when I worked through that abandonment stuff and feeling like I can't ask for support is I started finding other business owners. Like, I started networking and putting myself in situations to find other people that were, on a similar path and journey as me, that were also going through things, so that we could help one another. Like, I found other coaches and energy healers to partner up with, not even like in business necessarily, but say like, hey, I'm going through this. What do you think about this? Can you take a look at this? Like, the other day, I launched my group coaching program, and I did the website, the landing page, and I asked some other people in my life, can you look at this? Because I'm not going to catch the spelling mistakes. I'm not going to catch if it is, if I'm talking about myself too much in like the I, you know what I mean? Because we want to keep it client centered. Like, you have to have other people look at things. if you want to have it like optimized, right? So finding other business owners, I would sign up for like networking events. I joined other people's Facebook community groups. It doesn't always have to be like a one-on-one interaction. Like join some communities of people that are doing these things, okay? Or some like Discord communities. And people that you can ask questions to. Because when I was first starting out, I was watching all these different videos, and that's cool and everything, but you don't actually have like an opportunity to talk to those people. You need to find people that you can have direct communication with. Because you can have questions all the live long day and watch all these videos, but it's different when you can actually speak with someone, right? Oh, thank you all for sharing the live. I appreciate that. But we get scared because we're like, oh, I don't want to seem like I'm stupid or don't know what I'm talking about, or I'm scared to put myself out there in networking events. You got to push through that fear, okay? Like, nobody is going to make you do these things, and you just got to do it. I am always nervous before I do anything. Like, even I've been doing this for a long time now, doing lives, workshops, you know, whatever, working with clients. I get nervous and anxious every single time. The difference is I've gotten used to that feeling, and I just say, we're going to do it anyway. I say, well, I feel like I'm going to throw up and I'm all sweaty and it is what it is, and we're just going to do it anyway. And like, I have found some of the most lovely members of my soul tribe by pushing through that fear and signing up for those things like networking events or, you know, masterminds or programs, so that I can launch further in my life and business. I ask myself, is the fear worth not progressing? Okay, you just gotta push through, feel the fear and do it anyway. Yes. Because fear, okay, anxiety and excitement are the exact same feeling, two sides of the same coin. It's the anticipation of the unknown. And when you start looking at fear that way, as like, oh, I'm excited for what could potentially happen, instead of like, I'm really anxious about what could potentially happen. It's just, you got to look at it in a different lens. Kind of like with failure. Nothing in my life is a failure. It's a growth moment. No failures. I would rather fail so that I can figure it out faster. Okay. I needed that so bad. Oh, good. I'm glad it helped. I'm glad it resonated. Okay. So accountability, or find an accountability partner. Like, not just for business, but like for life. Like, I have an accountability partner. She's my bestie. Her name is Tracy. She's also a business owner. And we do check-ins with one another. Girl, what are you doing? Okay, well, why aren't you doing this? Okay, well, let's talk about those self-limiting beliefs. What's going on? Like, you have to have somebody that is pushing you forward. Whether it's a community, a group, a person, you need somebody keeping you accountable. And like accountability too, like when I first started doing like workshops and lives, I would like at the last second decide not to do it because I would be too nervous and anxious. And so I started telling people that I was going to do it, because if I tell you I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. Like, I keep my word, right? And so if I say like, hey guys, I'm going to be here at 8 p.m. I'm going to do it. Okay, I heard that when I was in a community group years ago, and this coach said you got to put a day and time on things. You put a day and time on things, and you tell people about it, and then it's concrete. And so you just pushing it off into the future. Okay, so if you need an accountability partner, like, because sometimes especially if you're neurodivergent, you have to have somebody helping you, like, keep you accountable to push forward. Otherwise, you'll just keep pushing it off. Like, I've been there in that space before. Like, you need somebody to check in with, right? Or you want somebody to ask questions to. Like, what's a discovery call? How do I structure payments with clients? How do I set up my website? How do I grow social media? What am I supposed to be making content on? How do I work through imposter syndrome? How do I work through my perfectionism? What is the difference between inspired action and being in the flow state and working in the ethers? There's a million different questions that comes with business, right? And so if you need support like that, I have a group coaching program that is starting on March the 7th. It's called Boss Babes Inspire, because boss babes inspire other boss babes. Okay, so thank you, babes, crying in the chat. I'm glad it's resonating. So if you want to join our group, you're going to be supported by other business owners that are already in their business, and more importantly, supporting you, and that you can just ask questions too, like, how did you do this? Okay, and also doing check-ins with one another and saying like, hey, how's it going with this? What are you doing with this? Right? Because it's so important. So if you want to join, there is a link in my bio. It says Boss Babes Inspire, or if you're on YouTube, there's information in the description down here below. It says Boss Babes Inspire. Okay, so why do we want to have a spiritual business? Because, well, I'll talk from my perspective. So I was sick and tired of working a 9-to-5 job that I didn't resonate with, and I did not like having a boss. I was tired of doing things that I didn't want to do, and because I'm neurospicy, I was having to mask all the time, which was exhausting, and it was causing a lot of stress in my life and angst. Okay, and I was coming home exhausted every single day, and I was making barely any money, and I was like, I'm done with this. I'm not doing this anymore. I said, I want to help transform people's lives. I want to make a lot of money. I want to do whatever I want to during the day. I want to have full reign over, myself, and really push my capabilities and see what I'm capable of. That might be you too. Maybe you're like, I am done with this matrix lifestyle and being on the hamster wheel. Now, when I say, when you want to own your own business, you got to put in that work. Okay. People are like, Brittany, you're always working all the time, like 24/7. I don't really see it as work, because I'm in my purpose and I like challenges. Like, you have to be so in love with challenges because you're gonna hit them constantly. But on the other side of that is like you growing into like this really like multi-dimensional like being that's like so in their confidence, and like the power that you have within yourself, right? It's not work when you enjoy doing it. Yeah, I love doing it. Even when I hit challenges, like, okay, great. It's like a puzzle I'm trying to figure out, right? And it's so satisfying when you figure it out, like those little steps that like quote unquote trip you up. I'm like, yes. Okay, but you have to almost like gamify it. Does that make sense? And I help people while I'm doing it. Like, I'm helping people transform their lives. Like, there is nothing more fulfilling for somebody to say to me, like, I am doing so much better in life, and I had all these perspective shifts, and I'm like thriving in abundance and prosperity, and I feel confident, and I'm standing up for myself, and like all these things, this whole list that we went over. Like, I get people these results, okay? Right? But like, that is so incredibly satisfying. Now, I do have to work all the time. Okay, but it's not work. And it bought me back time and energy. I was so depressed and anxious living in the matrix and that hamster wheel. Like, I had an eating disorder and body dysmorphia. I had an anxiety disorder. Like, it was a lot. I was also masking all the time and around people and experiences that I didn't even resonate with. Okay, but I also had a lot of trauma that I needed to heal and do a lot of shadow work and things like that. Now, even though, I spend a lot of time, quote unquote, working, I make my own schedule and I do whatever I want. I decide to go on a live, great. I decide to make TikToks, great. I decide to take a day off, great. I can take my son to, I can be at all his baseball games, every single practice. I make a ton of money. I made $8,000 last month. Very proud of that. Always pushing my money container. That was from not being able to pay my bills when I was in the hamster wheel 9 to 5, because there's only so high that you can go in that matrix. Like, there's a glass ceiling, right? When you work for yourself, infinite possibilities. You can just soar, but it takes you taking leaps of faith on yourself and really like making a commitment to yourself and hunkering down. Like, I had to stop partying, and I'm not saying you can't have a good time, okay? But I had to make my dreams a reality. Like, there was no like ifs, ands, and buts. Like, I'm gonna do this until it works out, and it did. But I also had to put blinders onto a lot of other things in my life that were not serving me. Relationships, behavioral patterns, self-limiting beliefs, like blinders, okay? Because it's a lot of quote-unquote work to do this. And you have to be very focused and goal-oriented. It made me an extremely diligent person, and I always have been, but this is like a whole new level, okay? And you have to keep yourself accountable. You got to like make this like your number one top priority, especially if you're trying to get out of a reality that you don't really want to be in anymore, because sometimes we just get so overwhelmed and exhausted. And I'm not saying it happens overnight, like it didn't just happen overnight for me, but you have to make these small steps every day. Ask yourself, what can I do today? Because we don't see people's journey. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, y'all see me or other energy healers or spiritual coaches that are doing this full time, or maybe you are already full time, right? But we're not where we want to be. Y'all didn't see me in the bathroom on the floor crying my eyes out saying, I can't keep doing this, it's not working, I don't understand what is like not like functioning. Hey, I don't understand, right? Like, I've had so many like breakdowns. Y'all see the finished product. That's why I like to talk about those times, so you can see like everybody goes through this. Everybody. But what was like a really pivotal thing was finding people to hold your hand while you're doing it. So again, if you want to join Boss Babes and have that support, I would love to have you in the group. But if you're in that space of life where, you know, you can find communities to be a part of. They're like Facebook communities too, or find some mentors on YouTube, or find other spiritual business owners that are in the same space as you that you can help one another, right? Like, I'm not going to say you have to be a part of the group, right? But that's just an option. My name is Brittany. Brittany Porter. I think they all do. They see the shiny moments, not the struggle. Yeah, y'all, I've been through it with this business and life. Okay, but we don't see that. That's why sharing your journey, like the whole way through. My armpits are sweaty. Sharing your journey the whole way through. That's a great way to make content. Like, if you go through all my content on TikTok or Instagram, I talk about my struggles while I'm going through them, so that you can prep yourself, right? Oh, I'm sorry you got banned from your other account, Carrie. That stinks. I'll send you a message about it. That way you can see and prepare, okay? Because every time I level up in my business or my life, I get hit with a whole new set of self-limiting beliefs. It's every single time. Every time. Or a timeline shift. It's like, okay, well, here we go again. I want to share that with people so you can see the whole scape. Like, y'all should go scroll on in the bottom of my TikTok and watch those videos compared to the ones I have now, and you can see, like, in real time, like, the difference and like the journey that I've had to take. And I've gotten so much more comfortable sharing the hard times, because I want people to understand it's not all like roses and peaches, okay? It's a lot. Okay? And that way you don't see a representation of, you know, only the wins. They're all wins. But that way you can see like, oh, okay, this is what it really looks like. Because I'm gonna tell you something about my soul contract. There are a lot of people, okay, that use manipulative tactics in the coaching industry and say like, oh, if you take this course or you do this, then you can make $100,000 next month and it's super duper easy. Okay, that might happen sometimes, but but like, they're not talking about all the other stuff you gotta do. Okay, all this other back end stuff with your energetics and trauma healing and like all this other stuff. I see it in my face. Yeah, I want to keep it real. And on my soul contract, I used to be like so angry with the universe sometimes, because I was like, why is this so difficult? And I had a conversation with my higher self, and they were like, you have had to go through it like this so that you could teach other people how to be successful without using manipulation tactics. Okay? Because I don't do that. I also don't try and like convince people to work with me. If you like me and you like the vibe and you resonate with me on a soul level, cool. But I'm not going to try and convince you to work with me, right? And I used to do that. I don't do that anymore. Like, I know my worth and what I can offer and the results that I can get people. But what I'm not going to do is scare you or use fear tactics to try and get you there. Does that make sense? And I want to share that because I know a lot of people that are watching this now or in the future, you've probably been in a situation like that before, and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good at all. And I get it. Like, I was a single mom, you know, or I am still a single mom, but I was a single mom that couldn't afford a coach. Just couldn't do it. I had to figure everything out on my own. And if you're in that space of life, that's fine. You will get to a point, if you keep at it, that you can get somebody to help you. Like, now I'm in a position where I can hire people to help me, right? But when I was in that space, right, I would try and get help from people, and they were like, well, you need to spend $15,000 or you'll fail. I've literally had somebody say that to me before. Like, you will not be successful. And that was from a very prestigious coach. And they said, you will fail. Now, the personality that I have was like, oh, you tell me I can't do something? Then I'm going to do it. And to be honest with you, like, that needed to happen for me, because it really put my butt in gear, because there were a lot of things that I was missing in my business and that I wasn't taking enough inspired action on, and that I was just like putting off to the side. She was right. Like, she was absolutely right. Like, if I didn't do the things, I needed a butt kick. But it didn't mean that I had to spend $15,000 to do it. Okay. I figured it out. But I also had to reach out for support. I had to sign up for masterminds, and I had to sign up for networking events, and I had to start putting myself out there more and showing up more and being more goal-oriented and focused and diligent, and spend the time and energy to figure the things out. So that might be you too, right? Sometimes we need that kick in the butt. Let's see. Literally going to reach out to someone now. Thank you for all the confirmations this morning. Good. And yes, I am an Aquarius. Okay. So if you are wanting to hear about new topics in your business, for your spiritual business, let me know in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, what you want to have more information about or learn about, because I love doing workshops. I have a couple other ones on my YouTube channel, and they're Boss Babe Chats. Like I did one on imposter syndrome and one on fear of abandonment, one on content creation. There's a couple different ones on my YouTube channel. And then if you want to join Boss Babes, it starts March 7th. The information's up in my profile, or if you're on YouTube, it's down here in the description. And if you're one of the first couple of people that sign up, I have a couple of spots left for this, is you're going to get a personal session with me as well. So that is you and I sit down one-on-one and we talk about your business and how to help it grow, right? And so fear of being seen. Yes, I love that. I'm going to write that down, Kate. So I remember. Or if anybody else has any, I would love to hear it, and then we'll do some more workshops. Fear of being seen. Love that. Okay, thank you, Kate. I always love the ideas. And so if you were not here for the whole workshop, like I said, it'll be up on YouTube. And thank you for coming to the space today. I appreciate it. And hopefully this was beneficial and helps you sign some more clients or helps you progress further in your business. All right, everybody. I hope you have a very magical day, and I will see you next time. Bye.